Dewey Scum back at it. I want to talk to you guys about the currency system in POE because I know it looks crazy, and while it's a vast, huge monster to deal with, definitely it isn't something that's too out of this world. I just want to show you really quickly that I organize my orbs like this, and you can have them any way you want as long as you kind of have an idea where they are and how many you got. It's a really good idea to keep them organized. Otherwise, they're pretty straightforward. Every orb has a use, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but I want to make sure you guys have an idea of what the breakdown looks like. So really quickly, I'm just going to show you guys something that I pulled off the net, and I upgraded it so it fits our current standards. For the most part, this is the meta, and we trade in the form of chaos orbs. So one chaos orb will be equal to a certain amount of other orbs, and vice versa. Some orbs are worth more than a chaos orb. Now, when you're trading, you'll definitely find yourself looking for items that are, one chaos orb, two chaos orbs, five chaos orbs, even 10 and 20. It really depends on the item, how good they are, and how much you're willing to spend. But the common language amongst traders is chaos orbs to what ratio, and vice versa. If you want a specific orb, you can always trade in form of that orb. People usually have those also, but more than likely they're going to be looking for the chaos orbs, or they're looking to give you a chaos orb. Now, some of these orbs are very, very cheap. As you can see, you can get 40 transmutations for one chaos orb, and some of these orbs are very expensive. Now, the divine orb is worth about 7 to 12. It really depends on what part of the league we're in, all the way down to the exalted orb. There are two orbs that I'm not mentioning right now, and I'll go into in detail when we talk about the uses, and that's because they're ultra rare and they're very difficult to find. More times than not, you won't see one in your PoE career. Alright, if you guys are super lucky, maybe then. But some of these orbs you can just go nuts with because they're definitely really cheap and they're easy to find out there in the world. They're not a big deal. But most of the time, end game trading is gonna amount to exalted orb. How many exalted orbs for this item? 2, 3, 5, and trust me, guys, when you pay, they're most likely worth every penny. Okay, I'm gonna break down really quickly, show you guys what the uses are, and we're not gonna go into all of them, but we're just gonna go forward and talk about some of the uses in these things. The Scroll of Wisdom and the Town Portal Scroll are some of the first items of currency you're gonna find. They're all the currency is in a gold bold lettering, so you'll definitely see them on the floor when you're looking. Pick up everything you see. You know what I mean? Now, as they sound, identity scrolls of wisdom identify an item, and town portal scrolls take you back to town. They'll create a little portal you can jump through. As for the rest of these orbs here, they all have specific uses, and you can further do a little research or ask around. You can also find me, like I said, I'm on Twitch. You can find me there, ask me specific questions. But some of these things are very expensive, and some of these things are very cheap. As I said before, the transmutation orbs are very cheap. They turn an item from a normal item to a magical item. You're going to use those most likely on early game stuff like potions, things like that. I talk more about that in the potions section. And alterations, stuff like that. You're going to be able to do minor upgrading with these things. As far as some of these other currencies, you're going to want to know when to save and when to use. Some of these currencies are also usable in the master crafting. We'll talk about that later in the crafting. And there are a certain amount, like maybe 2 or 3 chaos orbs or a few alchemy orbs per craft. So you're going to want to take a close look at that. Now, the two orbs that I didn't talk about before, the Eternal Orb. This one basically can copy an item as is, and you can further modify the item as you please. Now, when you modify that item, if you don't like what happens modification-wise, you can revert back to the item's copy by Eternal Orbing it. Now, the Eternal Orb's use is, it'll have an imprint you can revert back to. The Mirror of Kalandra. Guys, if you find one of these, you are rich, okay? This is the holy grail right here. Now, this thing's worth about 40 to 50 exalted orbs. Nothing in the game costs more than a Mirror of Kalandra, honestly. Now, unless you're talking about perfect gear set. Now, more than likely, if you find a mirror, you'll be selling it. But for the rare chance that you are going to use one, it copies another item. Now, if you find an item out there that's godly, that can't be better than any item, best in slot, you'll go ahead and use a mirror. And most times, people are going to charge a service to mirror their item. But that is definitely the one. If you guys see that, you're luckier than I am, okay? Alright, you guys, take care. I'll see you another time. Peace.